I think it's nice to draw a line as well and keep what's important and close to you.
Like, the idea of romance is kind of what makes me get out of bed in the morning.
Taylor Swift, the queen of pop, seems to have found herself in a bit of a pickle with her ex Joe Alwyn and NFL star Travis Kelce. Now, we all know Taylor Swift has been on cloud 9 lately with her blossoming romance with Travis Kelce making headlines. Apparently, Joe's not too thrilled about Taylor moving on so swiftly. But instead of handling his heartbreak with a pint of ice cream and a sappy rom-com marathon like the rest of us mere mortals, Joe decides to take his frustration out in the most public way possible. Yep, you guessed it, he goes after Travis Kelce, the new man in Taylor's life. Now, if you're thinking Taylor's just going to sit back and let her ex stir up drama, think again. Our girl is not one to mince words, and when she found out about Joe's antics, she went full-on mad mode. But what exactly did Joe say? And why is he so bent out of shape about Travis Kelce? Is it just good old-fashioned jealousy, or is there more to this story than meets the eye? And most importantly, what fiery comeback did Taylor Swift unleash in response to this madness? Alright, let's hop in our time machine and rewind back to 2016. That's when the Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn love story officially kicked off. Things started heating up between them, and by 2017 they were like, yep, we're official. When news of their relationship first broke, the world was like, hold up, what? We mean, Taylor Swift, the reigning queen of high-profile romances, dating someone is not exactly a household name worldwide. Instead of flaunting their love on every red carpet and social media platform known to man, she and Joe decided to keep things low-key. And you know what? While Taylor had been used to the glare of the spotlight in her previous relationships, Joe brought a breath of fresh air by keeping things private. For months, they flew under the radar, dropping subtle hints here and there in interviews and songs. They actually managed to keep their relationship on the DL in a world where every move of a celebrity is scrutinized under a microscope. And their love story influenced Taylor's music. We're talking about albums like Reputation, Lover, and Evermore. Suddenly, Taylor's songs were dripping with a newfound depth and maturity, painting a picture of love that was more real than ever before. Songs like Delicate and Call It What You Want? Yeah, those were practically love letters to Joe Alwyn. Before her romance with Joe Alwyn, Taylor was all about those catchy pop tunes. But then something shifted. As her relationship with Joe blossomed, Taylor's sound took a detour into more indie and alternative territory. Suddenly, her songs were quieter, more introspective, a far cry from the upbeat pop bangers we were used to. Now, despite their best efforts to keep things on the down low, Taylor and Joe couldn't escape the ever-watchful eye of the paparazzi. Every now and then, those sneaky photogs managed to snap a pic or two of them. Taylor wasn't out there flaunting a relationship like she did with her previous beaux. For years, they seemed to be riding the love train to Forever Town. There were even whispers in the rumor mills about wedding bells and baby bumps. But then, in early 2023, everything came crashing down when it was announced that Taylor and Joe had officially called it quits. Instead of airing their dirty laundry for all the world to see, Taylor and Joe handled their breakup with the same grace and privacy they'd maintained throughout their relationship. No dramatic press releases, no tell-all interviews, just a quiet exit from the spotlight. According to insiders, it all boiled down to one thing: fame. Turns out Joe had a bit of a tough time grappling with the fact that Taylor was a megastar while he was still making his way up the ladder. Instead of having a heart-to-heart with Taylor about his feelings, Joe reportedly let his frustration boil over into full-blown anger. So, after months of tension and heated arguments, Taylor and Joe finally decided to pull the plug. But it wasn't easy, especially not for Taylor. But hey, Taylor's not one to wallow in heartbreak for too long. Just a few weeks later, she was spotted cozying up to Matty Healy. Young love. Or so he thought. Unfortunately, their fling was as short-lived as a summer romance thanks to Matty finding himself in some hot water. While Taylor was navigating the post-breakup dating scene, Joe was taking a completely different approach. He decided to pull a disappearing act, retreating from the public eye and laying low for a while. Now, rumor has it that Travis had been crushing on Taylor for ages, but he was too shy to make a move. But when his team, the Kansas City Chiefs, started scoring big wins, Travis finally worked up the courage to shoot his shot. So, what does he do? He invites Taylor to one of his games, of course. And guess what? She says yes. From that moment on, rumors start spreading like wildfire, and before you know it, Taylor's practically a regular fixture at Travis's games. But unlike her low-key romance with Joe, Taylor isn't exactly keeping this one under wraps. She's practically putting on a show for the paparazzi every time they step out together. They were then spotted together more and more often, and Taylor even spends Halloween at Travis's mansion in Kansas. As Taylor belts out the lyrics to one of her songs, she does the unthinkable. She swaps out a line that was originally written for Joe Alwyn and rewrites it for Travis Kelce. Well, if you thought that was jaw-dropping, just wait, because right after the concert, Taylor made a beeline for Travis and planted a big fat kiss on him right there in front of everyone. And just like that, folks, it's official. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are an item. Now, you'd think the whole world would be over the moon for them, right? Wrong. Joe Alwyn, the ex who just can't seem to let go. But instead of taking the high road, Joe decides to throw some not-so-subtle shade at Travis. He starts firing off these passive-aggressive comments, insinuating that Travis is just a placeholder until Taylor comes crawling back to him. Needless to say, fans were not impressed. And as for Joe, well, maybe it's time for him to focus on moving on instead of throwing shade from the sidelines. After all, life's too short to hold on to grudges, especially when there's a whole world of love out there waiting to be discovered. So after Joe Alwyn decides to throw some shade at Travis Kelce, the online world explodes with reactions, and the Swifties are not holding back. One fan hits the nail on the head, calling out Joe's comments as downright disrespectful to both Travis and Taylor. I mean, relationships aren't just about how long they last, it's about the quality of the connection, right? And then there's another fan who's just not having it. They're all like, Travis doesn't deserve this kind of shade from Joe, and you know what? They're absolutely right. Travis and Taylor seem genuinely happy together, and nobody has the right to rain on their parade. So what's your take on all this? Should Joe move on and be happy for Taylor and Travis, or should he just leave them alone? Is his anger justified, or should Taylor respect it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to stay in the loop with all the latest celebrity drama.